Terry Fisher Jr. on the pole. Travis Braden outside. John Hunter Nemechek starting third. Daniel Hemrick starting fourth. Brian Campbell starting fifth. Starting sixth, Peter Casalino starting seventh. Kenzie Rustin starting eighth is Chuck Barnes Jr. And this time by race fans starting down in turn number 4 all the way to turn number 1. You were asked to get up on your feet. We are going to wave these drivers off for 100 laps of racing action at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis. Salute the drivers as they'll wave back to you on this one of final pace circuits of today's Jack Link's Beef Jerky 100, presented by Assembly Products and Great Deals. Eddie Van Meter coming from the 9th starting position. The 16 of Brandon Hermiller starting 10th. Brett Robinson on the inside of row number 6. Starting outside of him, the number 2 car of Kenny Tweedy. Rounding out the second half of our field, Jason Deach in the 7, the 26 of Rick Turner, the 8 of Scott Tomasic, the 18 of Mark Lambert, the 08 car. Flag, turn 4, Fisher, Braden to the green. The Jack Link's Beef Jerky 100 presented by Assembly Products and Great Deals. Coupon Magazine underway at Lucas Oil Raceway. The field heads down into turn 1. Terry Fisher Jr. takes the lead. Braden second. Third is Nemechek. Battle for fourth. Campbell already looking to the inside of the 54 of Hemrick. Kenzie Rustin, last year's winner, the 39 to the outside. Fourth, fifth, sixth. Racing for position. First lap, clean and green, and up front of the pack, a lead battle. First, second, and third. Nemechek in the 8 car, running third, right with the 2 leaders. Braden in the 01, dropping to the low side of the 81 of Fisher. Then back 3 car lengths after the top 3, the 54 of Hemrick, the winner of the Jags race, running forward. Carl stops to bring out a yellow. That will result in a penalty, I'm sure, for Carl. Gets it rolling again and then comes to a stop once again. 20 laps complete. John Hunter Nemechek leads our first yellow at the 1/5 mark of the race. Caution laps. Hermiller looks good in the 16. And looking stout, as could be expected. Series point leader, series champion twice. About to be 3 times. Johnny Van Dorn, the 61, already up into the top 10. Green flag coming off of turn number 4. Nemechek and Braden bring the field in, and we're underway. Nemechek back into the lead. Braden will not be able to close the door on Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick gets to the outside. Braden will now be able to slam the door shut on the middle of the backstretch. Good restart for Barnes. The top qualifier picks up a spot or 2. Van Dorn around Casalino moves up 1 more position closer to the front. John Hunter Nemechek, a 23.381. And Johnny Van Dorn, 23.367. Both running kind of by themselves, and we have caution. Shelagowski in the 01 has put a Lucas Oil Raceway stripe along the wall from turn 3 almost all the way to turn number 4. Shelagowski in the 01 from Westfield, Wisconsin. The Wounded Warriors in action. Assembly Products, Real Brothers Harley Davidson Chevrolet brings out a caution on lap number 40. Now 41 complete. So it will be Nemechek outside, Braden inside for the restart. 48 laps will go on the scoreboard this time. As the green will again wave, Nemechek picks up the pace in turn 3. They go to 4. We are back underway, close to being some contact between the top 2. Campbell has a chance now to go to the outside for Braden, and Braden's going to get the door closed first. There's Johnny Van Dorn picking up a couple spots, said that this restart was key for him. He restarted in 6th. The chance to take 4th now from the 54 of Daniel Hemrick. Johnny Van Dorn today making a statement, starting this race 24th. Was talking about Nemechek building up a several car length lead after each restart, and now Fisher spends it coming out of turn number 2. Terry Fisher Jr. did get the yellow. He did go a lap down. Fisher in the 81 car needed a pit stop, and he'll get it by spinning coming off of turn 2. Wanted the yellow when he slowed the pace, and then brings out the yellow the traditional way by spinning. I really think it's a good possibility here for Van Dorn to move from 4th to 2nd. If he can stay tucked up behind Nemechek on this restart. He might pass the 20 of Campbell and the 0-1 of Braden in one swoop. I'm sure that's the goal for the soon-to-be three-time series champion Johnny Van Dorn. He stays right there. Oh, Braden picking up the pace. He'll have to check up a bit, coming to green off of turn 4. 70 and 30 to go at the line. Van Dorn spun the tires. He loses some ground, does Johnny Van Dorn. That was the plan for Van Dorn, to try to pick up a spot. Here's Campbell's chance. Looks to the outside of Braden, and Braden will close the door on the backstretch. Van Dorn, not a good restart for the 61 as he spun the tires in 4. There's Campbell to the outside of the 0-1 car of Braden. Makes the move, coming off of 4. Braden will give him room on the front stretch. Brian Campbell working the outside. Braden giving him some room, but not a lot in Campbell's car. Really good through the middle of 1 and 2. Brian Campbell for the second spot. Braden squeezing up in front of him on the backstretch. Campbell still working hard. Just about as high as on the track you can race here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Gets a great run through turn 4. Brian Campbell up to second. Campbell into the second spot. Braden back to third. Van Dorn is fourth. Fifth spot, the 77 of Chuck Barnes Jr. Took a long time for Campbell to work around Braden, and it's also been frustrating for Van Dorn here on the final 20 circuits or so. Jeep Plume, heavy tire rub on the right front, and it will bring out a yellow. Caution flag coming out for the number 1 of Jeep Plume. Not what Nemechek wanted. 10 laps to go. 90 laps in the books. Coming off of turn number 4. Green flag is out. We're underway, and Van Dorn throws his name into the ring. He gets to the outside of Campbell for the second position. As we're back underway, we go to turn 1. Campbell working the bottom lane hard. Nemechek by half a car length. Down the backstretch, Campbell pulling forward, giving it the best that he can. Nemechek's biggest challenge, hard into the corners. Campbell drives it deep and into the lead. Contact between Van Dorn and Nemechek. Nemechek backs it into the wall. Around goes Barnes, collects the 26 of Turner, the 2 car of Tweedy, and we've got caution out. Yellow flag is out. A bad break for John Hunter Nemechek. Into turn 3, Campbell picks up the pace. They go to turn number 4. Campbell's going to come across the line, the leader. Green is back out. Braden tries to hold on to second, but here comes Chuck Barnes Jr. Barnes has just been sort of a viewer of this race, and he goes to the outside of Braden. Van Dorn goes to the inside. 3-wide battle for the second position. Barnes wiggles middle of the backstretch. He does take second. Campbell by 3 car lengths in turns 3 and 4. Here comes Van Dorn for third. 9 laps to go. Rick Turner off the pace in the 26. Rick Turner in the 26 car off the pace. Turner will try to get to the pits this time in the 26. Campbell building his lead. Campbell building his lead in the 20 car. Barnes second. Van Dorn is third. Despite the smoke, nothing really put down on the raceway. See all the cars going through turns 1 and 2 cleanly. Probably just tire smoke off of that left front for Turner. Nick Lay has taken his ride into the infield. Big trouble on the backstretch. Hermiller gets into the wall. He collects. Chad Finley, Brett Robinson, Eddie Van Meter, Hermiller in the 16 with heavy impact. Hermiller in the 16 with heavy impact. Up in turn number 3, that car is all wadded up. The 5 car of Robinson involved. His car not so badly damaged, but it is attached. Now it is not. Moves away from the scene. Van Meter and Hermiller has climbed out from behind the wheel of his car. That is great news because that car is junk. Field in double file formation. Final 8 laps of the Jack Link's Beef Jerky 100 presented by Assembly Products and Great Deals. Campbell outside, the top qualifier. Barnes inside, coming to green off of turn number 4. Here we go, final shootout underway. And a good restart for Barnes in the 77. Can he beat him down into turn 1? Driving it off deep in the corner is Campbell. Campbell through the middle of 1 and 2. Barnes up the banking. Barnes will close the door on Campbell. Campbell has dropped to the number 2 position as Barnes takes the lane away. Campbell going back to the bottom. He's got him mad now. Side by side coming through turn 4. 7 to go. Lead battle side by side at Lucas Oil Raceway. Campbell's got his work cut out for him now. Looks to the inside of Barnes in turn number 2. Barnes outside. Campbell, great run inside lane. He'll drive it deep into turn 3 this time. Hard into the corner goes Campbell. Takes the lead back away from the 77 of Barnes, who will try the crossover move. Looks low. 4. And at the line with 6 to go, the 20 car of Brian Campbell is back out front. Van Dorn, his 61 car, bottoming out, dragging something on the suspension hard through turn 1. He's still running third. Battle for fourth between the 39 of Rustin and the 01 car of Braden. Rustin inside, last year's winner, up to fourth. Good comeback today for Kenzie Rustin, 5 to go. The 01 car of Braden inside of Rustin, still challenging there for second. Van Dorn made a run. The run was thwarted, though, by the number 77 of Barnes. Barnes holding on to the runner-up spot. They have fallen, though, several car lengths back of Campbell. 4 laps to go. Turner off the pace. The Yorktown, Indiana driver pit side. It was not a good restart for Brian Campbell, but it didn't matter. Just made it a little more exciting because he had to make another pass for the lead. It was on the 77 of Barnes, and now he is checking out, much like he did a little over a year ago when he claimed victory here at Lucas Oil Raceway. He's almost put a half straightaway gap on the 77 of top qualifier Chuck Barnes Jr. And about 60 laps ago, if you would have thought Barnes would have been in second, you would have said it was a great day because he was mired deep in the field after starting 8th. Just unable to move up early on in today's race, but stayed out of trouble and might be on his way to a runner-up finish. 2 laps to go for Brian Campbell. Van Dorn, another challenge of the 77 of Barnes for second. Chief starter Brian Duncan with the white flag in hand. Van Dorn sideways, nearly slid up with the 77 of Barnes towards the turn 3 and 4 wall. But the final lap is here, and Campbell rolling smoothly through turns 1 and 2. Rustin has caught second and third. She would like this to be 125 laps, as she might be good enough for at least second through turn number 4. Fourth quick in qualifying, quickest on the final laps. Wyoming, Michigan's Brian Campbell, the victory today at Lucas Oil Raceway. Second to Barnes, third to Van Dorn, 4th spot to Rustin, 5th place to Braden. Finishing 6th is Carl, 7th is Tweedy, 8th is Hemrick, 9th Casalino, and 10th is Nick Lay. This race coming to an end, a 100-lapper. The Jack Link's Beef Jerky 100 presented by Assembly Products and Great Deals. A word with our top finishers on the front stretch in a moment.